Hey everybody, I hope you had a wonderful, wonderful week. I am back to drop my October budget a little bit late, but better late than never. It has been a very, very busy week for me. I've had my dad's birthday, my daughter's surprise birthday party, my wedding anniversary, and et cetera, on down the list. It's just been wild. So I completely forgot to drop my October budget. So I'm going to go over that today. Hopefully, I do not go over like last month. I'm going to try really hard to stick to this one. And let's see what happens. Let's get into the October budget. Now, if you are new to my channel, welcome. And if you are not new, welcome back. My name is T. I talk a little bit about everything on this channel, but I do focus heavily on finance topics and finance related content, mostly my finances and kind of my journey along the way. So before I get into it, if you are new, you may be kind of thrown off by how I budget. So I'm just going to give a little background. I am mostly a credit card budgeter. So all of our bills are paid on a credit card each month. And with the exception of our mortgage, we pay all of our other bills via credit card, and the cash back that I receive from those credit cards, I use to invest in a small brokerage account. And my husband and I have split finances. So we have a combined account where our bill money goes, and then the remaining amounts of our individual checks are dispersed back to us in our individual accounts for us to do as we choose. So this budget represents our joint bills. You will not see savings accounts up here, but I do have various different savings accounts. I do invest in the 401k and Roth 401k at my job. My husband has a 401k at his job. I have a various amount of different savings accounts that you can familiarize yourself with them at another video that I've posted up here. I've posted videos about my savings accounts. And I also cover three specific ones: my bridge and buckets accounts, which covers my car fund, my brokerage account, that small brokerage account, and also my Roth IRA. So I do cover those up here, but I do not cover our finances in totality for various reasons, mostly privacy reasons. And this is not my husband's channel, so he doesn't need to have his information on the internet, and this is not his channel. So anyway, that is how I budget. So basically, I break down my monthly expenses, and all of the expenses less the mortgage will be paid for on a credit card. It's mostly one, but there are two others that I also use. I use whichever card gives me the most cash back for that particular category, which is why there are multiple cards. Um, my budget runs from around the 23rd or 24th of each month to the 23rd, 24th of the next month. That is how my bills run. We do have a month ahead in our checking account. So that is how I am comfortable to do this by credit card, because I know the funds are already there. Basically, our incoming income for whatever month we're in. So this is October. So our October income pays for November. We are using September funds for this October budget, and it is already in our account. I hope that makes sense. What else would I like to cover? That's about it. That's about it. And I'm only showing our budgeted expenses for the month. And then at the end of the month, I go over what we actually spent and whether I went over. So let's get into it. So, guys, these are our budgeted expenses for the month of October. It's kind of similar to previous months. Um, I don't think there are too many changes up here. Our health insurance, we've budgeted the 4564. Car insurance, 285.91. That's for 3 vehicles. Cell phones, 214.77. Cable, internet, and landline, it looks like it's going to be that 348.61 moving forward. So we must have had an increase. But like I said, that expense is a portion of that is reimbursed to me through my work. So I'm not worried about that. Water, I'm going to budget 57 again, even though it was slightly lower last month. I'm still going to keep it at the 57. Gym membership 45.90. It looks like that may be down because it's actually charging me less this month. They may have some kind of special or something going on, but we'll reconcile that at the end. Utilities 132.12, which is significantly lower than last month. It was 190 something last month. Subscriptions 356.77. I do make sure to note that that includes our home security system, satellite radio for my car, streaming services, and some other subscriptions that have to do with my side gigs that I do. So that's why it has a little asterisk, because it includes some stuff that is probably not included on a lot of people's budget. Pet care, food, and litter, $100. Keep in mind, if I do not have to buy pet food or litter, that money just sits there in case my cat has to go to the vet. Gas, $2.95. And this is all for the month. So groceries, dining out, vitamin shop, I put 1,050 this time, so I put a little extra in there than last time. And that is just because there are a couple of vitamins that I need to replenish. Personal care, $85. Home needs, I kept that at 170 just in case there is something that I still wanted to pick up that I didn't get last month. And miscellaneous, $200. That miscellaneous category is usually just a catch-all for things that we just kind of forget, but we have to add, like, it could be some light bulbs, it could be, who knows, it could be a host of things. So I just put that there as a catch-all. So the total that we expect to spend on the credit card this month is $3,386.72. The mortgage will remain at the $1,805.38. That is our mortgage, our escrow, and one additional principal mortgage payment. So our total budget is $5,192.10. And then I need to replenish the amount that I was over last month, $540.08. I'm going to replenish that. And so the final total is $5,732.18. Now, when I say replenish the overage, because we are a month ahead in our account, whenever I go over the amount that I have budgeted for the month before, I take that amount and I leave that amount in the account for the next month, because I do keep a buffer, $1,000 buffer in addition to our bills. So we'll take it like this. October, let's say I budget $6,000 for November, then I'm going to keep $7,000 in the account. That way, if I go over, I have that wiggle room to go over or under, but I always replenish it so that I always keep that buffer moving along and moving along. Now, next month will be a found money month. That is a different kind of month as well. Found money months, I consider found money, any kind of bonuses or incentives or anything like that. I will have one of those next month. So the budget will be completely different than this one. And I will show some of the savings categories that I will be allotting money to, because I will do that in found money months, because it's money that I'm not necessarily budgeting for bills. And I always try to save a large percentage of any kind of found money that I get. Now, I know, this is why I say this is really for educational purposes only, but I'm not really showing you what you need to do with your budget because everybody's budget is different. Personal finance is personal, so you have to tailor things in the manner that you need them to go. You can't necessarily completely mimic another person's budget because you have expenses they don't. You could have needs that they don't. You could have medical issues that they don't. So I know for me personally, my biggest thing is when I'm budgeting, I try to make sure that my final total, so that everything that I have incorporated into our monthly bills and everything, never exceeds 50% of our take home pay. So that is always what I'm shooting for. Now, there will be situations where that's not the case. You saw when our water heater went out and we had that huge budgeted month. All I did in that situation was say, okay, well, we're going to take less into our personal accounts, keep that money there to cover the catastrophe, whatever it was. So that is how I handle our finances in the house. Now, I do know, though, that there are things that I could personally improve on. I know that I keep too much cash, like I keep too much that isn't doing a job for me in my personal account. And I really need to start letting that go and saving and investing that money instead of just keeping it and holding it. So I've got to get better at that. So I hope in 2026, that's something that I want to kind of tune in and get better at, is taking those extra funds and finding a home for them and not just letting them sit there, because every dollar that you have working for you makes your money grow. So that is something I know I need to personally improve on. Second thing I know I need to personally improve on is doing more for myself. I am a person that finds it kind of hard to do things for myself. And so, other than saving, now I can save, but to kind of personally treat yourself, I have to get better at that, because you do need those instances where you give a little to yourself and reward yourself some. So I'm going to try to get better at that too. That's one of my 2026 goals, but we'll go over that later. Anyway, that is the budget for October. $5,732.18. So let's hope we can stick to it. But until next time, peace out.